The game arrives, and it's clear that both Baru and Naruhaya have improved their skills. Baru scores the first goal from a distance of 29 meters, exceeding the expected range of 27 meters. As Nagi faces off against Baru in a one-on-one matchup, Isagi must take on Naruhaya. The outcome of the game hinges on Isagi's ability to defeat Naruhaya, but he soon realizes that his skills are lacking, even against Naruhaya. However, Nagi's inner monster awakens, and he tells Isagi to send the ball to any open space on the field. Baru underestimates the strategy, but Nagi has discovered a new way to beat the king by utilizing his excellent control and ability to outmaneuver opponents. Nagi scores a goal, tying the game. As Baru gets possession of the ball, Nagi instructs Isagi to press him, knowing that Baru's ego will prevent him from passing to his teammate. Isagi successfully steals the ball and looks for Nagi. With Nagi's new strategy, defenders have to try to choose between covering him tightly or leaving him some space, and he's effective either way. Isagi fires a pass as aggressively as taking a shot. Nagi receives the ball gracefully and scores another goal, putting them in the lead. As the game becomes more intense, Baru becomes increasingly frustrated and takes a shot from kickoff, but the goalie manages to save it. Though the game seems under control, Naruhaya manages to reach the loose ball before Isagi and passes it to Baru, who scores again, making the score 2-2. As Isagi gains possession of the ball and moves into an offensive position, Naruhaya reveals his true intentions for wanting to play against Isagi's team. He not only wanted Nagi on his team, but he was confident that he could defeat Isagi as well. They had played together before, and he knows Isagi is not a player who can fight on his own. He can't score a goal alone without an assist, and lacks the natural talent and genius of Nagi. He is just average. Isagi tries to pass the ball, but Naruhaya intercepts it, and Baru takes possession, passing it back to Naruhaya, expecting to get it back. But Naruhaya takes the initiative, makes a bold move, and shoots the ball. But his attempted egotistical goal lacks the power to get past the Blue Lock goalie. Nagi and Isagi go for the rebound, but just as they start to recover possession, Baru barges in with his brute strength and snatches the ball, scoring as predicted. The score is now 3-2. Isagi breathes a sigh of relief. Baru had scored, but at least Naruhaya missed his shot. Both players struggle with opposite issues. Naruhaya can get in position to score, but lacks shooting skills, while Isagi struggles to get into position for his direct shot. The game will be won by whoever can overcome their weaknesses. Isagi realizes he's not on par with Nagi or Baru in terms of talent, but he's determined to find his own shortcomings in the match. Despite trying various techniques, such as dribbling and 1-2 plays, nothing seems to work. Forced to rely on Nagi, he passes the ball to him. Nagi scores, tying the game at 3-3. Although this is a positive outcome, Isagi is frustrated and believes the only way to improve is to tear down everything he knows. Baru takes another direct shot from the center line, but Nagi makes a leaping block. As Isagi gets possession of the loose ball, Naruhaya sneaks up from behind and steals. He's about to shoot when Nagi taunts him from near the goal. Naruhaya freezes, then hears Baru calling for a pass. He lets go of his ego and makes the pass, allowing Baru to score. The score is now 4-3, with no room for error. Isagi is aware of the importance of that play in this game. It gave them the chance to take the lead. He reflects on whether he could have prevented Naruhaya from getting the ball, but realizes that Naruhaya had taken advantage of his blind spot, positioning himself behind him. Suddenly it clicks. Blind spot? Isagi has a breakthrough in his understanding of the game as he realizes that Naruhaya has been exploiting off-the-ball moments to find open spaces on the field, which Isagi never took into consideration before. Isagi finally begins to piece together the elements of the game, including how Rin had made him feel useless. Isagi quickly obliges when Nagi calls for a pass and then scores a goal, equalizing the game. After scoring, Nagi tries to talk to Isagi, but Isagi is too focused on rewriting his approach to the game, integrating his new knowledge. Nagi simply acknowledges Isagi's concentration and trusts in his abilities, remembering the confident aura that surrounds him. Naruhaya has high hopes as he arrives at Blue Lock, as the eldest brother among his siblings, with only one sister older than him. He and his siblings have been living in poverty since their parents passed away in a car accident, with their sister trying to support them with limited means. Naruhaya has a dream of becoming a pro footballer and securing a lucrative contract that would change his family's future. Blue Lock is his chance to succeed, and he can't afford to fail. The game restarts with Team Red's kickoff, with Nagi on guard at the right corner. Naruhaya suggests a 2-on-1 against Isagi to secure the win, but Bado, who sees himself as the king, lives as he pleases. He goes for a risky shot that curves to the left corner instead of the right. It hits the post and bounces back. Naruhaya, Isagi, and Nagi all compete for it in close quarters. Naruhaya knows what he needs to do now: adopt Isagi's direct shot to change his life with a goal. Unfortunately, the ball hits the post, and Naruhaya is crushed. Nagi grabs possession, and they start their counter. Isagi saw that Naruhaya tried to replicate his direct shot. He believes that emulation is the key, and that he must combine his weapon with Naruhaya's in order to finish the game on top. Isagi makes a run forward, and this time, Bado is the one marking him. But now that Isagi knows that Bado needs to focus on two people at once, he uses the same in-behind technique that Naruhaya uses. He manages to get into his blind spot and receive a pass from Nagi with a clear shot on goal. Isagi scores the final goal, winning them the game. It took Isagi only a split second to devour Naruhaya's technique. Naruhaya is disappointed he lost the game, but Isagi comforts him, saying either of them could have won. Naruhaya acknowledges that his imitation of Isagi's direct shot was less than successful, while Isagi's unique willingness to adapt and improve sets him apart. He's always ready to destroy his old self and build a better one, making him a genius of adaptability. Nagi then questions who Isagi wishes to take along. Naruhaya silently hopes Isagi won't choose him out of pity. Recognizing Naruhaya's feelings, Isagi takes Bado, the dethroned king, explaining that this is not the place for him to end his journey. Naruhaya bids farewell, acknowledging that he isn't ready for the next stage. The day prior, Kunigami and Chigiri deliberate over their third team member. Chigiri points out the need for a passer to complete their skill set. They spot Mikage sulking in the corner, and Chigiri assumes it's due to being rejected by Nagi. Chigiri declares they share a common struggle and seeks to settle the score with Isagi and Bachida for leaving them behind. Kunigami extends an invitation to Mikage to join their team. Isagi, Nagi, and Bado have been assigned a new single bed, and they're all competing for it. And it turns out that Bado is pretty meticulous. Despite the man's ego, he's like a maid. Maid Bado. Isagi thinks that Bado's unbreakable rules are what drive his ego and skill. To understand Bado better, Isagi invites him to train together so they can form a strong partnership. During their training session, they discover that Bado has his own hour-long intense workout regimen before he even touches the ball. This strict routine is what gives him his strength. Isagi and Nagi join him in his training to not be left behind. Anri provides an update on the project to the Japan Football Union. She emphasizes that players must have improved communication skills and self-awareness to work together as a team. They aim to develop them into independent, unmatched strikers. Hirotoshi states that, despite making solid arguments, talent ultimately decides the outcome, and they want Ego to create stars more quickly. Ego views them as money grabbers and questions their sensibilities. He also ponders what talent really is. Is it natural ability? A magnificent physique? He believes that talent is the ability to demonstrate one's competence, and that Blue Lock is creating geniuses as they speak to prove this. Returning from training, Isagi and Nagi find Bado sound asleep on the bed they had all been competing for. Although Nagi wants to kick him off, Isagi convinces him that Maid Bado tidied the room and deserves to rest. So they call it a night, with Isagi unfortunately getting the bottom bunk. Meanwhile, Kunigami, Mikage, and Chigiri train to improve their teamwork and talk about choosing their next opponent. They have to consider acquiring a strong teammate to fight against Isagi's team, which they believe has advanced to at least 4 players. Chigiri and Kunigami are taking a relaxed approach, but Mikage is determined to defeat Nagi, having previously debated whether Nagi is even necessary, with a toothbrush. Isagi reflects on Naruhaya's remark that he's a genius of adaptability. He questions what that even means, asking himself if it means getting stronger to match the opponent's strength. His next goal is to get the selfish king on board with collaborative gameplay. To achieve this, Isagi tries to understand Bado's playstyle to create a winning combination, but Bado only wants to score himself and won't change his ways. Isagi announces that his selfishness is a weakness, which frustrates Bado, who doesn't want to alter his rules. Bado argues that if he wanted teamwork, he should have picked Naruhaya instead. But Bado's 28-meter shot range and powerful charge are skills that Isagi can't imitate. Isagi wants to make Bado's talent shine even brighter, but Bado refuses to cooperate. Isagi sees this as a waste of Bado's genius. While bathing, Kunigami unexpectedly runs into him and is shocked to see that Isagi is still in the third stage. Isagi explains that Itashi's team captured Bachida, and then he took Bado, condemning Naruhaya. Chigiri is mad that Isagi didn't wait for them, and the two of them taunt him for it, before admitting that if Nagi had approached them, they would have done the same. Nagi relaxes in the bath, and King once again comes to scold him, but Nagi is a ninja. Chigiri asks who Isagi thinks they'll play next, but he's uncertain. Suddenly, Mikage declares they'll play against Isagi's squad, to which Chigiri and Kunigami promptly agree. Nagi is pleased to see his best friend and tries to greet him, but Mikage is of quite another disposition and declares that they will crush him. With everyone present, Isagi accepts the challenge. Later, Nagi asks Isagi why he accepted the match so quickly. Isagi explains he didn't want them to be underestimated. He claims Nagi's first touch, Bado's dribbling, and his direct shot are their strengths. However, they lack speed, which is why Isagi wants to get Chigiri. Bado wants Kunigami for ball retention, and Nagi wants Mikage, as he promised to play with him. All three want different players, but they decide to focus on the game for now. Kunigami and his team are pretty firm on selecting Nagi if they manage to win the game. Only Mikage is against the idea. Ever since Nagi ditched him, he has a personal vendetta against him and wants Nagi to feel the same sense of rejection that he inflicted on him. Kunigami and his team work on a strategy to defeat Isagi's team. Kunigami and Chigiri plan to attack from the sides, while Mikage takes the center to offer balance. Mikage declares his intention to mark Isagi and prove his superiority over him to Nagi. Due to his physical attributes, Kunigami chooses Bado, leaving Nagi to Chigiri. The top three members of Blue Lock struggle to find opponents due to their feared reputation. Although that's fine with Bachida, he awaits a challenge from Isagi, confident that he'll get to stage 4. The long-awaited moment finally arrives. Kunigami's Team Red versus Isagi's Team White, a clash of titans. Isagi feels calm, unsure of whether to attribute it to his growth in strength or to the geniuses at his side. However, the game doesn't go as smoothly as expected. Bado tries to control the ball on his own, despite Kunigami's tight marking and Isagi's attempts to convince him to pass. Kunigami is successfully holding Bado out of his shoot zone. Suddenly, Mikage dashes past Isagi and hounds Bado, deftly seizing the ball. With Isagi alone in defense, Mikage and Kunigami converge on the midfield, overwhelming him. Anticipating that Mikage will pass to Kunigami, he's taken aback when he sees the ball go to Chigiri. Even though Nagi's not far behind, the Red Panther just dashes forward, leaving Nagi stunned. With Kunigami's physique, Mikage's strategies, Chigiri's speed, and their mutual comprehension of each other's strengths, their cohesive teamwork outperforms Bado and Nagi's individual brilliance. Chigiri scores a goal, and it's plain as day that they are a great team. However, it only serves as fuel for Nagi and Isagi, who are adamant on crushing them. Isagi's enhanced perception of the field, understanding of the blind spots, and ability to track the ball gives him a newfound perspective on the game. He sees multiple paths to goal and passes to Bado. With swift movements, Isagi dodges Mikage and rushes open towards the goal, but his hopes are dashed when Bado ignores his call for a pass. This results in a turnover, and Kunigami takes advantage, scoring another goal and increasing their lead to 2-0. Nagi criticizes Bado for not passing, but he's unapologetic, still only interested in scoring his own goals. Isagi now faces a difficult challenge. As the team's anchor, he must find a way to reconcile Nagi and Bado's conflicting playstyles and devise a new strategy, but has no idea how to achieve this. The team's success depends on their ability to work together, but with Nagi and Bado at odds, it's a daunting task. As the whistle sounds, Isagi is taken aback when he sees no path to scoring resulting from a pass to Bado. However, with just a glance at Nagi, he sees endless possibilities for a goal. He quickly passes the ball to Nagi, who, with his graceful ball control, deftly moves it away from Chigiri and scores a point for the team, leaving Kunigami's team stunned at the genius's abilities. Nagi believes that they can secure the victory with just the two of them, but Isagi is aware that something crucial is missing: Bado. He must find a way to incorporate him into their strategy. He tries again, in vain, to convince Bado that teamwork is the key to winning. Bado refuses to play for anyone else, stubbornly sticking to his motto, "I win how I please." Isagi teamed up with Bado because of his immense potential, but like this, his talent is going to waste. The frustration is palpable, not just for Isagi, but also for Bado himself. He's left wondering how he could be losing despite his immense talent. However, he remains resolute in his ways, refusing to change. Isagi cannot understand why Bado is so fixated on his own methods. The whole situation is frustrating. It's such a waste of talent. For Bado to improve and reach his true potential, he must acknowledge his defeat and confront the frustration that comes with it. Mikage faces off against Isagi with determination in his eyes. Despite not having any unique weapons, Mikage refuses to let that stop him from giving his all. Fueled by his frustration towards Nagi for leaving his side to play with Isagi, Mikage strives to prove Isagi's worthlessness. While Chigiri and Kunigami may have specific specialties, Mikage showcases his versatility and excels in every aspect of the game. The ball is in Chigiri's possession, and with a quick pass to the center, Kunigami heads the ball into the goal, bringing the score to 3-1. The team truly embodies the concepts of balance and coordination. Isagi has reached his limit and wants to concentrate on himself and Nagi, removing Bado from the equation altogether. But their chances of victory are slim with just the two of them. However, as he ponders how to overcome this challenge, he recalls being referred to as a genius of adaptability. It all becomes clear to him. Success lies not in conforming to Bado's gameplay, but in absorbing and flipping his ideology. With a determined look, Isagi confidently declares to Nagi that they will emerge victorious. Just keep your eyes on me. With how the match has gone so far, Kunigami's team is wary of Nagi and are positioning themselves to outnumber him. However, Isagi has a different approach in mind. Instead of passing the ball, he decides to dribble towards Bado, looking to gain an advantage over Kunigami by making the team think he will pass to the solo player, who has proven to be a liability so far. This maneuver diverts attention and creates a clear path for Nagi to operate. Chigiri is aware of Nagi's exceptional ball control and doesn't fall for Isagi's tactic. Just as Nagi is about to face a difficult situation, Bado makes a charge, asking for a pass, but he's still closely marked, and it seems like Isagi's plan has failed. However, everyone's focus on Nagi and Bado has made them overlook his path to the goal. Bado was a decoy, and Isagi takes advantage of the confusion he created to score a goal, making it 3-2. Bado realizes that he was used by Isagi to score, leaving him feeling defeated. This marks the start of Isagi's team's comeback, and he encourages Bado to keep on being himself, but without getting in their way, calling him a donkey. The pressure builds in the King to prove himself to Isagi and reclaim his dominance on the field. The rivalry between Isagi and Mikage resumes. However, the change in Isagi's demeanor has left Mikage feeling uncertain about facing him head-on. Instead, he opts to pass the ball to Chigiri, who then passes it to Kunigami. Bado sees this as a chance to finally get involved in the game and engages in a physical battle with Kunigami, successfully gaining control of the ball. Nagi calls for a pass, but it's no use. Kunigami's team double teams Bado and steals the ball, but just as they think they have the advantage, Isagi appears, snatches the ball, and calmly passes it to Nagi. The skillful play results in another goal, tying the game. Kunigami's team acknowledges the dominance of Isagi and Nagi, who are now controlling the game. The whistle blows, and Mikage quickly passes the ball toward Chigiri, who recognizes that the only way to win is to push beyond his limits. Nagi knows how to stop the Red Missy, but is taken aback by Chigiri's evolution. Instead of slowing to take control of the ball, he propels the ball forward, maintaining his speed in what he calls no slowing dribbling. Bado's attempt to stop Chigiri also proves unsuccessful, and Chigiri scores a crucial goal, putting his team on match point. The entire team is stunned by Chigiri's impressive play. Bado, the king, is left growling at the ground. Meanwhile, Isagi warmly welcomes the challenge, eager to continue proving his skills on the field. Bado is perplexed as to how he ended up on his knees without scoring a single goal, despite being the supposed king of the field. Throughout his childhood, he was the star player and received encouragement and support from everyone. As a result, he began to adopt his kingly attitude. He soon realized that his love for football was not simply to be the best, but to dominate and defeat his opponents, which only the truly powerful can experience. Isagi and Nagi exchange a few quick words about strategy, but suddenly Bado runs up and takes a shot right from kickoff, catching everyone off guard. It hits the post. Kunigami recovers the ball and passes it to Mikage, but Isagi anticipates the move. Mikage has no choice but to send the ball flying, and it lands right in front of Bado, his big chance to redeem himself. Chigiri moves in and is right behind him. Bado is one step too short from reaching his ideal shot range before Chigiri is all over him. Out of nowhere, Isagi appears ahead of him, open. He glances back at Bado, and with his stare, he commands him to pass the ball. The king does, shocking everyone even more. Isagi slams it in the net, equalizing the score. Bado is in disbelief at how quickly Isagi devoured his whole ideology. He's unable to understand this feeling of despair he's experiencing, which is the bitter taste of defeat. He realizes the pass wasn't even his own choice. He lost to someone he underestimated, causing his entire ideology to crumble. Before the final play, Kunigami's team is well aware of Isagi's unstoppable performance, and they prioritize preventing him from getting the ball. Their general strategy is to utilize Chigiri's speed to score, recognizing it as their best chance to win. Isagi also recognizes Chigiri as the main threat and tells Nagi the plan is to stop him before he gets the ball. He feels it's futile to share his plan with the dethroned king. Thus, the responsibility of winning falls on the two of them. As the game restarts, Mikage sees that all routes to Chigiri are blocked, leaving a wide open route to Kunigami. Passing to Chigiri would be disadvantageous, and dribbling is too risky. Mikage passes to Kunigami, but all of his plays are also too risky at this point, so he passes the ball back to Mikage, who tries to create space. Isagi gives Mikage an opportunity. He seizes it and passes to Chigiri. In that instant, Nagi dashes forward, leaving Chigiri unmarked to intercept the pass. Isagi had planned every move, and it played out just as he wanted. Mikage is baffled. Nagi barely gets a touch on the ball, but it's diverted from reaching Chigiri, and the loose ball lands, served on a plate for Bado. He freezes, realizing that with one pass to Isagi or Nagi, they will win the game, and he is the vital piece, though a support piece. He now understands how all the people who fed him passes felt. His sense of defeat could be salvaged by entrusting the goal to the Supreme Strikers, fulfilling his new support role, and he contemplates becoming a team player. But something is clinging to him, the future that awaits him after this pass. With the pressure mounting, that instant, his ego takes over, refusing to live in a future where his dreams are broken. He feints a pass, dribbling past Kunigami with newfound awakening. The red team anticipates he'll pass to Isagi and moves to intercept, but Bado is using his team as a decoy and gets past Mikage. He sees it, a route that exists for his goal. Just as Isagi devoured him, he hides behind Isagi's light to disguise his next move and evades Chigiri. He refuses to be a mere supporting player and emphasizes this with his final shot, scoring the match-winning goal and leaving his opponents in despair. Isagi and Nagi welcome the new king. Isagi goes for a winning high five, but Bado denies it and insists that Isagi retract the donkey insult. Isagi apologizes and recognizes Bado's remarkable abilities. Even Nagi is stunned by Bado's dribbling in the final play, which he achieved only through acute self-preservation after considering the possibility of a future in a support role. This strategy, which Bado dubs dominating the field as the villain, led to the creation of his new weapon known as chop dribbling. Isagi is thoroughly impressed, and Bado makes it clear that he will never lose to Isagi again. For the first time at Blue Lock, Bado refers to someone by their given name. Henri, the evaluator, now considers Bado one of the top talents in Japan and wonders if Ego had anticipated his awakening. Ego admits that he didn't, but explains that defeat is a crossroads for achieving your dream. It takes strength to recognize your powerlessness, feel despair, and see a new potential path once you've given up on the old one. Ego believes that living life without striving to achieve your dream is pointless. Kunigami's team is now at this crossroad, after coming so close, but ultimately standing no chance against Isagi's team's true strength. The decision to choose the fourth player for their team is on Isagi, and in order to beat Rin and win back Bachida, the teammate he needs, Bado initially wants to select Kunigami as a forward player who can pass him the ball. However, Nagi suggests that Mikage's versatility would provide a better balance to the team. Both Bado and Isagi agree with Nagi's perspective. However, Isagi notes that choosing a balanced team might limit their potential. Instead, he argues that unpredictability is the key to their success. Just as Isagi devoured Bado, and vice versa, he wants a player who can challenge them and force them to grow. Without this kind of challenge, they won't be able to beat the best teams in Blue Lock. Only one striker has managed to keep up with the three monsters, and the answer is obvious: Chigiri. As he makes his way across the field to join his new team, Chigiri promises to wait for Kunigami so that they can take their revenge on Isagi. Nagi tries to assure Mikage that he doesn't want to be at odds with him and acknowledges how well Mikage played in the game. Nagi expresses his belief that they will face each other again in future matches, but Mikage doesn't want to hear any of it. He feels that Nagi abandoned him and forgot their promise to become the best together. Initially taken aback by Mikage's words, Nagi ultimately agrees that they cannot grow together. He acknowledges their promise, but also feels that Mikage is a burden, and he's past caring. Nagi decides that he's done with Mikage. Before leaving for the fourth stage, Isagi offers some final words of advice to Mikage. Become the one who chooses instead of waiting to be chosen. As a child, Bachida confides in his mother about his imaginary friend, a monster that he sees when playing football. He yearns for a real friend who can play fun football with him. His mother hopes that he will make one someday, and Bachida is confident that he will. In the present, Bachida can't help but grin as he practices with the best Blue Lock has to offer, Rin. In the fourth stage break room, Isagi suggests that they play Rin's team next, but he's ignored by everyone. Along with Bado, the king, and Nagi, the genius, they now have Chigiri, the selfish princess.